Buying new tires for your car may be quite a hassle, but if your car is not a normal car, but a factory armored 1996 BMW formerly used by the government protecting politicians, then buying new tires is a real pain in the ass. So finally, today we're talking about tires for this beast here behind me. As you perhaps know, this is my BMW 750iL High Security. That's the factory armored version of the E38. This car was 10 years in service from 1996 till 2006 for the Bundeskriminalamt, something like Secret Service, protecting our politicians and people working in the German Bundestag. And after that, the car was decommissioned, was sitting 20 years in a collection, and now I'm trying to get this on the road. The car is already road legal, it has all the papers, it has the technical inspection, but I would like to change the tires because they are too old. This car is capable of more than 200 kilometers per hour on the German Autobahn, and I don't want to do this with 10 or more year old tires. So I have to find new one, which is quite impossible because they are not produced anymore. So we have to find a solution for that. I will talk you through the solution that I have found and talk you through the timeline, the next steps, what the next videos will be. As you know, I'm planning a road trip. So all this in this video, come along with me. And with that said, a warm welcome and hello. My name is Oliver. I'm located in Hamburg, Germany, and this behind me is my new project, the BMW 750iL High Security. It's a factory armored version of a 12-cylinder BMW, 6 centimeter thick window panes, ballistic steel inside the car. Fantastic car to keep it and to show it, because this car is a piece of German history. I would like to make a couple of trips and I would like to present this car on a couple of road shows. I'll tell you at the end of the video the timeline, which I'm planning. So today I'm talking about the tire situation. I mentioned it in a couple of videos before, and to give you a good start, I have to introduce you to the idea behind the tires on this factory armored car and to some very unique things you only find in Germany. So first of all, to understand, this car is factory armored, it's bullet protected. The bullet protection is only about around the passengers in the car. So the trunk is not really protected and the engine bay is not really protected. It's about the people in the car. And the protection is about, as I understand it, I'm not an expert on it, but I understand this car now is about keep moving, keeping the momentum, getting out of the situation. It's not like in a John McClane Die Hard movie where you stand there and shoot. It's about getting away, getting out of the situation. So if someone shoots this car, the people inside are protected, but what about the tires? There is not really a bulletproof tires. You have to find another solution, and the solution is that in these wheels is some sort of support ring on the rim, which makes it possible to drive even if there's no air, even if the tire is flat. So the tire stays on the rim then because of this support ring, and you're able to drive a couple of kilometers with a certain speed to get out of this situation and get away with the car and the passengers inside. That is, as I understood, the concept of these bulletproof tires. They're not really special tires. They're not really armed or so. It's all about this combination tire, rim, and the support ring inside. These tires are not produced anymore, and the support ring either. So I just can't go to BMW and say I would like to have the same tires again and with support ring and so on. So I have to find a different solution. When I bought this car, I got not only the 4 tires that are mounted on this car, or 4 wheels mounted on the car and a spare wheel in the trunk, I got 4 other wheels as an extra with that car. So my idea is to keep the best of those 9 wheels, the best 4, so that the car can be put in a collection with the original tires from 19 whatever, the original Dunlop tires with the support rings inside and so on. These are mounted on the car. And I have another set of wheels which I can put on if I'm going to drive the car to a car show forever, for example, or a road trip, to make it drivable with everyday cars. They don't need these support rings. I don't think that someone will shoot me. Maybe it's even a better handling without these rings, because they add a couple of extra kilos on each wheel. So that's the first thing you must know, the concept of a bulletproof tire on a factory armored car. Next thing you should know is about German regulations. In Germany, if you buy a car, you get papers, a title to the car. This is an older one. The newer versions, they look a bit different. This is the old version because this car is from 1996. In this title is written most of the things, most of the technical data of this car. Obviously, it's a BMW, the type is written, the engine type, the VIN number, of course. Then there's written how many horsepower the car it has, how long it is, how wide it is, how high it is, how heavy it is, how the payload, how much payload it can stand, so the weight of the car, including payload, which means passengers and luggage. How many axles, how many axles are driven. For example, if you have rear-wheel drive, you have 2 axles, but only one is driven. If you have front, you have 2 axles as well, only one is motorized, and if you have all-wheel drives, both are motorized. This is all written in here. How loud the car is, if there's a tow hook, and if there's a tow hook, how many kilos you can put on this tow hook. Everything is written in here. This car here is a very special version, so it's not very much written here, but the tires are written here. In these papers is always written the tires that are suitable for this car. And if you change something in Germany to your car, go to a custom shop and say, hey, I would like to get a lower, wider stance, bigger tires, then it's okay. But all these changes have to be written down in this paper. And you're not allowed to do it yourself. You have to find a German authority, an expert who checks this car and said, okay, this can go on that car. Otherwise, you lose your registration, otherwise you lose your insurance, the car is illegal on the street. So if we change something on the tires, we have to put it in the papers. That's why we have to discuss it with the German authorities to get it right, that some expert looks at it and say, okay, I can understand, so I can write it down in the papers. The original tires that put on the paper, put on this car, it is a 7.5-inch rim. That's the first thing to start with. On the 7.5-inch rim, 16-inch, the tire is a 245 by 60, 16-inch, 108H reinforced. That means the tire is 245 millimeters wide, 60% of that high. It's a 16-inch rim. The speed index is H, which means 210 kilometers, and the load index is 108, which means that the tire is capable to carry 1 ton. We had a lot of discussions because 4 of those tires, if each carries 1 ton, this is 4 tons, and the car is not 4 tons. The car is a bit more than 3. So we had a couple of discussions about the load index of this car, but the weight in this car is not evenly distributed. If you load the car full, which means full gas tank, 4 people inside, a bit of luggage, then it's in the back. There's more weight on the rear axle than on the front axle, so we need this 1-ton tire, at least on the rear axle. So we go on all 4 tires on the front axle as well. So this is the tire that is written in the paper, and I have to find this tire, which is impossible because this tire is not produced anymore. It's a Dunlop tire. I think that this support ring which is put on the rim might be from Dunlop as well. Usually these tires had to be changed every 3 years. That's the service plan of this car, and with every tire change you have to change the support ring as well. You just keep the rim. These support rings were about 1,000 euros each. They're not available anymore, and the tires were quite expensive as well. So changing tires is very, very expensive on this car, and you need a special machine for that, because a tire with a ring inside put on the rim is not a normal mounting machine is not able to do this. So you need a special machine. If you're interested in that, Mercedes used a system from Michelin. That is a Michelin PAX system. You find a couple of videos on the internet, on YouTube, how a PAX tire is changed with the support ring inside. We need another solution because I cannot find a tire. There's no such tire on the market, so I have to have another solution. So the requirement is still 7.5-inch rim. The tire must fit on this rim. A 245 tire fits, a 235 tire fits as well. A 225 tire won't fit, it's too small. You need a 7-inch rim for that. This car has 7.5. So we need, first requirement is it has to fit on the rim. Next requirement is that it has the same rolling circumference. If you use a bigger tire or smaller tire, then you have differences in the speedometer. Yeah, if you go 100 with another sort of tire, then the speedometer says you go 90 or you go 110. You don't go the exact, the speedometer isn't exact anymore. So it has to have the same circumference. The German authorities tolerate 1 or 2% difference, but not more. Yeah, so it should fit on the rim. The circumference must match, otherwise the speedometer has different. The load index must be 108 minimum or higher. Yeah, but 108 is mandatory. That's not negotiable. That's one point which the German authorities don't negotiate about. If the load index, if the car has this weight, you need this load index. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and the last is the speed rating, H, which is 110 kilometers, that's minimum. Okay, so these 4 requirements: fit on the rim, circumference, load index, speed index. I went on the market, searched some tires and didn't find a good solution, but we have found a workaround. Okay, so that's a workaround. I haven't found any passenger car type tires that is suitable or has this dimension, but we found cargo tires for delivery vans. Those tires are usually not suitable for passenger cars. The reason is that they are not optimized for handling. They are more optimized for high mileage because of cost. Yeah, if you have to buy new tires all the time, then these are costs. Should be cheaper, more mileage with the tires. Usually you don't take this for passenger cars, but we have no other choice. So cargo tires are built for vans, for light commercial. They're reinforced and they have a very high load index, which goes together with our 108. They still manufactured in relevant dimensions. That means that you can go to a normal shop and buy those tires. They're still available. We found a tire 235 by 65. 235 still fits on the rim. 65 is a bit wider than 60, but it's 65% of 235 and not 245. So the circumference is only 1% difference. Yeah, so a 235 by 65 tire fits on the rim. It has 1% circumference difference, which is within the tolerance. It's a cargo tire. Okay, the load index is 114, so we are above 108, which is okay. But the speed index is only T, not H. T is 190 kilometers. H is 210. That's a problem. Yeah. Cargo vans don't go 210 kilometers. They're quite fast. You see them on the German Autobahn. So 180 or so is no problem for a delivery van here. So 190 is the speed index they have. But there is a workaround. We found the Alpine symbol. In Germany, we have regulations that you have to have in winter, you have to have suitable tires for that. If it's getting cold, if it's getting icy, if it's getting snow on the street, you have to have tires that are suitable for these conditions. These are, as we call them, winter tires. And many people in Germany change their tires. In summer, they go with summer tires. In winter, they go with winter tires. Or you have all-season tires that match winter and summer conditions. These tires are marked with an Alpine symbol, a three-top mountain with a snowflake inside. This symbol defines a tire that is suitable for winter condition. You find those tires as winter tires, or you find all-season tires that have this symbol as well, which means that they can go in the winter as well. If you use winter tires, you are allowed to go with the slower speed index in Germany. The only thing you have to do is put a sticker on your speedometer, which is in your view, so that you don't forget that you have a maximum speed of 190. Okay, so the workaround we found is going with cargo tires to 35 by 65 with a higher load index, 114, but a lower speed index, 190 instead of 210, and therefore a sticker on the dashboard with 190 written on it. Crazy. Well, this is what we discussed with the German authorities, and I have already bought new tires. I have sent 4 rims to the tire shop. They mounted new cargo tires on them. They're behind me here in the shop for absolutely new cargo tires, and has changed the spare tire as well. So if we get a tire puncture on our road trip, we will be able to change tires then. I still keep 4 original tires here with the original Dunlop tires that are 20 years old, but they're in top condition. They have a good profile, they're drivable, everything is okay. So if the car later on goes in the collection, then you will have the original tires for if the car goes on display somewhere, or cargo tires to drive this car. So this is the workaround we found, and this makes possible that the car goes to the next steps. The next steps will be that it gets a technical inspection. I would like to have another extra pair of eyes looking on this car, on the suspension and brakes, and so if everything is okay. We have to refill the AC control. I think it's empty, so it has to be refilled. There's only hot air coming out. The vents, no cold air. And I have to complete some stuff. The fire extinguisher is missing. I bought a new one. The flag holders, I bought new flag holders. I bought a German flag, which is already ordered, so that the car goes with a flag in the front right fender. Yeah, I have ordered a hoodie for the blue light. The first one was not really optimal, so I have ordered a new one. This all goes within the next week, will be completed. So I think we can go on the hit the road in August. In August, I will join a car show. That is the plan. Join the car show in Winsen, which is next to Hamburg. They have a very nice car show in the city center. I will try to join this car show to display this car. He will be the very first display on this car after registration on the car show. I would like to make a couple of trips. I plan, first of all, a little trip around Hamburg, just as kind of shakedown trip. Then I would like to go to the beach, to the seaside here in Germany. Very, very good location where you can go on the beach with your car in St. Peter-Ording. Maybe you know that. You will see that in the next videos coming up. And then, of course, the road trip Bonn to Berlin, which is planned later on in August or September. Yeah. So a couple of videos coming. In the next video, I will talk you through the technical inspection of this car, and then the registration, and then starting from August, several road trips and several opportunities to see this car on display on German public roads. If you're interested, like this video, hit subscribe button if you like, and stay tuned to this channel, 750 IL High Security Project. My name is Oliver from Hamburg, and it was a pleasure having you here in this video. So have a nice time. We'll see you on the next one.